New year, new video to make. And what I got for you today is something very interesting. Yep, it's a homemade Sega Genesis cartridge that looks to have some stolen artwork of Sonic and the Genesis game background. I'm assuming it's a stolen art from a Sonic's Ultimate Mega Drive collection. I'm assuming this is the European and Japanese cover of the game that they probably stole and put on the car. I don't know, I would have to look it up. But whenever I saw this on eBay, it's said to have 820 games on this thing, and I thought, cool, a Genesis Multicart. How about I buy it and review it for the channel, because it would be pretty interesting. But there was one little thing that I discovered about this cart. Yeah, it actually has an SD card in it, which has all the games built in. So, I did some digging around on this thing, and it looks as though this is actually an old Sega Genesis Everdrive that this seller is selling online on the internet with an SD card that already has like a boatload of ROMs on there. And then, well, that's basically it. They just grabbed an old Everdrive and just filled it with games and passed it off as a multi-cart. Which is honestly kind of naughty, considering the fact that, well, come on. Like, they're basically reselling another company's product. But, I don't know. I just bought this because it looked kind of interesting and I figured I'd do a video on it. But anyway, the weird thing is, Everdrives, they usually cost like hundreds of dollars. But this one I got for a pretty cheap price at around like almost 40 bucks or something. So, does this thing work as a budget Everdrive? Well, let's pop it into the Sega Genesis and find out. So, as you can see, I'm assuming this is straight up what you would normally see on a normal Everdrive, which again proves that the company behind this multi-cart, if you could call it that, basically resold an Everdrive that somebody else made as their own product, which is honestly pretty dang naughty. But of course, what you guys probably want to know is what kind of games are on there, and if it could work as a budget Everdrive, if you guys ever want to try out like a popular fan hacks on actual hardware. Which, of course, I'm going to demonstrate for you guys. So, anyway, what we have right here is a Genesis ROMs from A to M and from M to Z, as well as some hack ROMs that are for some reason already listed on there, as well as some foreign Mega Drive ROMs on here too. And that's my own folder for ROM hacks, because I already put some Sonic ROM hacks that I usually like playing on there to see if it would work on actual hardware. And here are the Master System games. And system volume information, I don't know exactly what all this stuff is for. But anyway, let's go ahead and check out some games that are already on here. We're going to go ahead and start with the Genesis ROMs. And as you can see, there's like already a whole bunch of games. Like, I don't know if they put like every single Genesis game on here or whatever, but I don't know. They got Barney's Hide and Seek on there. Ugh. But yeah, there's like a whole bunch of Genesis games on here. Now, I bet you guys are probably wondering, how exactly do they work? Well, it's kind of similar to if you were to just put a ROM on an SD card and put it in an Everdrive, like, the game itself wouldn't run on any kind of emulation. It would run off the actual Genesis hardware. So, basically, if you were to put, like, an official Genesis game on there that normally runs pretty bad on an emulator, it would run perfect on here because it's running on the hardware that it's intended to run on. But, let me go ahead and give it a test, and, oh my god. I just now saw this on here. Like, this multi-cart apparently has the bootleg Super Donkey Kong 99 on here. Let's see if this one works. Yeah, would you look at that? This game actually works on here. You know, I remember playing this ROM on some emulators before, but I never thought there would be any day in my life where I would have the pleasure or displeasure, or whatever you want to call it, to play this on actual hardware. But it works. But anyway, you may or may not have noticed that whenever you load up a game, it goes through a boot screen of some sort where it loads the game and it takes a while. I think what they're doing is they're temporarily writing the game onto the board of the cartridge so that so it can play it, which might be the reason why whenever you reset the system by pressing the reset button, it doesn't take you to the main menu, it just takes you back to the title screen of the game that you're playing. So, if you basically wanted to get back to the menu, you would actually have to turn off the Genesis and turn it back on, using the on-off switch. But yeah, after that, now it just takes you back to the menu. But yeah, like, since the game's pretty much already written on the cartridge, anytime you would press play game, it would just play the last ROM you were on. But, yeah. Let's try out some more games. Now, I do want to check to see if the SRAM on this thing works. So I'm gonna try out a game where I know it has a game save capabilities like Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to check to see if the game saves. And if it doesn't, then, well, I don't know. Alright. There's Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the one you know and love. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and start a save file real quick. Alright. So, basically, the way performance goes on these games is that, well, it's like I said, the ROM is running off the Genesis hardware, which is what it's intended to run on, so you won't be getting any graphical glitches or slowdowns or anything like that. Alright, now let's reset it to see if it saves our progress. Oh, would you look at that? It did. But then again, that was probably because I reset the system rather than just straight up did a turn off, turn on, and reload the game thing. Hang on. Now, just to see if the save thing actually works, I'm probably going to go ahead and load a different game real quick, and then go back to that game and see if it actually works. But while we're at it, let's go ahead and try out a Japanese import game. Like Bishuju Senshi Sailor Moon, that was put on there by default. Ah, shit. I got the region lock screen. But not to worry. With the simple use of a Game Genie code that I will put at the top of the screen, you can actually bypass region restrictions. I never thought that there'd be a day in my life where I'd be able to play this game on actual hardware rather than an emulator. This is honestly really cool. But yeah, I don't know if you can use the same Game Genie code on every Japanese or European import game that has a region lock on here to get it to work on an American system. I think different games may have different codes required. But yeah, before I have a moment, I'm going to go ahead and switch back to Sonic 3 to see if the game save is still there. Alright, here's Sonic 3. Let's go ahead and get that loaded back into the motherboard. Alright, here we go. Let's do this. And... huh! Would you look at that? The save's still there! That's awesome! So, the saving actually works on this thing, so that means this cartridge has SRAM on it. Ooh, which reminds me of something. Okay, I just found out that there was a game on here called Pugsy, and what happens is, alright, I guess you could say this video is unintentionally participating in this meme about anti-piracy screens that's going around on the internet, where people fake out a creepy anti-piracy screen, just post it online. But anyway, Pugsy has an interesting anti-piracy method, where it doesn't rely on SRAM for any game saves, and instead relies on a password system. And basically it puts in a code to where it detects whether SRAM is being used, because most emulators and other stuff like that use SRAM by default. And if the code detects SRAM, then that usually means that, oh, you're playing a pirated copy, so they're going to let you play 5 levels of the regular game mode or junior mode, and then after 5 levels of either of those modes, it'll take you to the anti-piracy screen, where it tells you that that's all the levels you're allowed to play, and it'll tell you to play a cartridge version rather than this quote-unquote silly copy. Yeah, it's kind of a funny anti-piracy screen. So let's see if we can activate it on this multicart, because that would be freaking weird if they just straight up included a game on here that you cannot even play. You know what I mean? Alright, here we go. Oh, would you look at that? No anti-piracy screen. So, I don't know what this thing does. Like, does it automatically shut off SRAM on some games that don't have SRAM or something? I don't know. One interesting thing I do kind of want to point out is that, although some of the import games that are on here have region locks, some of them for some reason don't. And I'm going to give you an example. Puyo Puyo. Where, if you guys don't know what Puyo Puyo is, think Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Basically, whenever they were localizing the original Puyo Puyo to America and European countries, they thought it'd be a good idea to replace all the characters with the characters from the Adventures of the Sonic the Hedgehog TV series. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and play this game right now. Like, look, did you see that? It didn't even give me a region lock screen. It just let me play it. Here we are going off against Draco Centauros, who for some reason does not turn her pieces. But anyway, you guys get the idea. Alright, so that's all of the quote-unquote built-in games that I want to show off for you guys. Now I'm going to show you guys some of the games that I inserted in this little folder called ROM Hacks, where I put some Sonic ROM hacks on here to see if they work, as well as a couple of other interesting games I found online. Yeah, I got like Action 52 on there. I got the weird but interesting bootleg Lion King games that are on there. Oh yeah, I also put the SRAM fix hacked version of Mega Man the Wily Wars on here, because I know that's one of the games that's region locked, and from what I've heard, the SRAM patch also bypasses any region lock that you can put on there, so let's see if it works. Alright, here we go. Let's see if this works. Oh wow! It's actually starting! I'm gonna go ahead and assume that the SRAM will work on here too, because the SRAM managed to work on Sonic 3. Yeah, let's go ahead and, Ow! Let's go ahead and play a level real quick to see how it plays. I decided to go with Sparkman's level because I like the song that plays in his level. Yeah, so far so good. I don't notice any performance issues. I mean, of course, if you guys notice any slowdowns, then, well, the original Mega Man the Wily Wars had slowdowns to begin with, so I think I've heard that whenever when they re-released this game on the Genesis Mini, which also makes it the very first physical American release of this game, they fixed the slowdown issues, but I don't know, I haven't played it that much on the Genesis Mini to know for a fact or not. But, yeah. Mega Man The Wily Wars works on here, as long as you have the SRAM patch on it. Alright. Alright, I'm trying out one of the bootleg Lion King games on here. If you guys watch JonTron, you should be able to recognize this game. But yeah, it's the Lion King 2 for Mega Drive that was produced in a Chinese company or something. And this is me playing it on actual hardware, which some could say is pretty weird. Like, why would I want to play a game like this on actual hardware? I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of weird like this. Alright, so now here's something to add a little bit of spice to this video. You guys know that newly discovered Sonic 1 prototype that's been making rounds lately? Well, I actually put it on this SD card to try it out on this Everdrive to see if this game will work on actual hardware. So, yeah, here we go. Yep, here we go. This is that long-lost Sonic 1 prototype that's just been discovered recently, working on actual Genesis hardware. Yep. I wonder if I'm the first to actually do something like this, where I try out the new prototype on an actual Genesis. But if I'm not the first, I wouldn't be surprised. But, yeah. I just figured I'd include this to add a little bit of spice to this video, to make this video interesting, you know? Alright, now for one more thing. So now, I'm trying out Sonic the Hedgehog Megamix on an actual Genesis hardware. I haven't seen anybody else try this game out on actual hardware just yet, so I'm literally trying this out for the first time as we speak. I don't know, guys. I don't know why, but there's just something really fascinating about being able to play some well-known Sonic fan hacks on an actual Genesis. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of mind-blowing in my opinion. But anyway, let's go ahead and get a move on. Oh, crap. Sorry about that, guys. That was embarrassing. Alright, so this version of Sonic Megamix is actually very different than the one I did a Let's Play on, because years ago I did a Let's Play of this game. I was using the SEGA CD version on a viz.com. But this one's the SEGA Genesis version, which, in my opinion, is just as good. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys, I haven't played this game, like, forever, so I may make some mistakes. But, I don't know, guys. It's just so amazing seeing this work on actual hardware. I mean, I'm just kind of geeking out about it. But anyway, that's all I got to show for this Everdrive cartridge. Dare I try this thing on an AtGames Genesis system? Well, let's see if it works. Alright, I put the cartridge into the AtGames system. Let's see if it works. Holy crap! Oh. Oh. Oh, wow. So, it does turn on the AtGames, but whenever you try to select a game, it freaking crashes. Wow. So, this thing straight up does not work on an AtGames system. Go figure. The AtGames systems were a piece of shit anyway. Well, all up until the recent systems with their Legends Flashback, which I think I'll do a review of sometime later. All in all, this surprisingly works as a budget Everdrive, like how I just described it earlier. And honestly, I kind of like this. So, in terms of whether I recommend this or not, I'm going to leave that up to you. Because, well, yeah, it's pretty nice to have a good working Everdrive from what I've seen so far for a pretty cheap price. But then again, remember, the company who made this basically stole the OS of the Everdrive and just put it on their own cart and sold it for profit. Not to mention like putting in an SD card that already has like a bunch of games built in. So if you don't care about that kind of stuff and would rather have an Everdrive that you can afford compared to one that costs like over hundreds of dollars, then, well, go nuts. Anyway, this is Knights Freak 235 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.